So right here in the town of Leesburg, there is the youth shelter, which houses kids up to the age of 18. There's the adult shelter, which is 18 and above. We have the adult detention center. We have the juvenile detention center. And then there are a lot of nonprofits that are housed right in and around Leesburg, Virginia. So the beginning of Mobile Hope, I used to be Director of Community Affairs and Mobile Health Services at Inova Loudoun Hospital. And in that capacity, we would go out into the community, and we were in Purcellville, Virginia, and it was brought to my attention that there were about 27 homeless kids in Purcellville, and what could we as the hospital do to help? So we certainly helped those 27 kids, but got me to thinking that the richest county in the country certainly does not have homeless youth, and started to do my due diligence and went and met with the school system coordinator for the McKinney-Vento Act, which is a federal program across the country that focuses on kids in school systems that are precariously housed or homeless. And at the time that we first met, there were 659 kids identified through LCPS alone, and that's how Mobile Hope started.
I was a mobile health nurse, and Donna was the director of mobile health. So Donna has been my boss for about 12, 15 years. I don't even remember how long. And she's a great boss. There's a lot of these families that we work with. Those are the families that might be renting a room in the home, can't afford anything else, may not have access to the kitchen in that home, and don't have a lease. So you could have mom, dad, and 3 children living in a room, not have access to a kitchen or laundry, and don't have a lease. So those people are very precariously housed, meaning they could just be asked to leave at, the next day. Say you have to be out by the end of the week. And we get a lot of that in Loudoun County.
And so we originally started just trying to provide clothes, essential needs, clothes, diapers, hygiene, school supplies, socks, shoes, coats, that type of thing. But as we started to morph and we started to realize that there was a significant void in Loudoun, we have changed our mission to really focus on all of those needs. So kids will walk through our door with a variety of issues that they face, from being kicked out because they got a C on a report card, to them coming out as LGBTQ, to them coming out as any of the difficulties that these kids face. They may be coming out of jail, they may be coming out of the juvenile detention center, and oftentimes families don't support a lot of kids. And so Mobile Hope works to fill that void and works to provide services and support and love and guidance to the kids that walk through our door regardless. I think every kid that comes through our door knows that they're not judged regardless of what they are dealing with. And it's our job to make sure that they can become successful and strong people and members of our community.
When we first started this program, Donna was actually asked to cease and assist, meaning they felt that she was not doing her due diligence, and this is a program that should not be happening. And we couldn't believe it that the county would want us not to have this program. And she pretty much just told them, I'm not going to stop this program, and we're just going to go ahead and do it. And we did. But you just want to have it right. You just want it to be done well, and you want it to be safe for everybody that comes here, for the employees, for the kids and young adults. I don't want to do something that would be harmful to a child ever, and I want to make sure I have it right.
Okay, well, I'm the last one out of 4. I have 2 brothers and a sister. We're each 10 years apart. Well, my sister and I are 10 years, and then my 2 brothers are 10 years. I was born in Fairfax County. I moved to Loudoun County when I was 3. My biological father lives in New York, and he left the year I was born. I've had experience with a father figure for a couple years, but not quite, because it wasn't more like a hey, how's school? Or hey, did you need help with your homework? He was just semi there. He was my mom's best friend for about 20 years. My brothers and I, we've all lived with my mom pretty much our whole life until little by little they've grown into their own lives, getting kids, married, and separation, but yet still there. We moved to Leesburg. That's when my mom bought her house. And then we lived in Leesburg throughout those years until 2010, 11 came around, and our house became foreclosured. So then we were deciding how do we do it of renting rooms or renting a basement to start off again. I moved with my sister. I found work in Sterling, worked at Hallmark for about a year and a half. And then that's when I went to renting a room. And then my mom had gotten renting a townhouse in Sterling. So she was like, why don't you just come in here, finish school, and you can help me out with rent if you'd like. And we just started off again there. And my two brothers were there too. So we were all like reunited again. And my sister just moved to Arlington. The landlord there was just very off. Like, he would say one thing and then not do it. And then supposedly it just went deeper ground of like him saying that we didn't pay him, but we did pay him. And then we went to court for it and showed it to the courts and everything else. So they see that we did. And then we just decided just to move on from there because we didn't even want to work with him anymore, like the landlord. And then he didn't allow us to have a dog. And that's when I bought a dog. I really wanted a dog. It was a little German Shepherd. So I bought him, and then I couldn't even have him there anymore. So I had to give him away. I know, that's so sad. And he was a little baby. And then from there, that's when I got pregnant. Yay. But I had another egg in my fallopian tube, which was risking me having a miscarriage. And then doctor said I couldn't work for a couple months. That led to my car being repoed, us losing the house. My mom, she had medical things to pay. I was helping her in chunks. You know, just putting in to keep surviving. And then that led to me going into the homeless shelter that's over here at VOA in Leesburg. I was not happy throughout the phase, but I was just semi-mellow about it because I knew it was just a phase I'm going through. And at the same time, it's like I can be humble about it because it's not like I have a place, a roof for the moment. It's definitely not mine, and it's definitely not a place that you would want to be in. It's definitely not a place you would want to live. But it's just out of how you make it as the time you're there. To build up again, little by little. But it was just within that time frame. Like, when people say it's like, oh, why isn't it so easy just to go into a homeless shelter and then get right back on your feet in like 2 seconds? Like, for some, it's easier than others. Others, it can be a little bit harder just because of the barriers that come at you. But it took me a while to even look for a job again after I got my C-section. And then the whole recovery mode took about 3-4 months itself. But it was just kind of hard because I had to pick up things. I had to carry baby. I had to, and I had a good support system in like that time frame. But it was just a matter of me like naturally wanting to do it. Like it just came at me naturally to do it. But that led, to the repo of the car, the rent's not being enough. My mom can't finish her things. I have, the daily essentials to pay off. And then I was able to work again. I got recovered, able to work. But it took me a very, very long time to look for work. I would apply everywhere, do walk-ins, after they're hiring, to go online, do job applications, fixed up my resume, everything. Like I was doing everything I needed to do. And it was just a matter of like, I would say within 3 months, 4 months of doing what I needed to do patiently. There was another person too that was in shelter too. And she had mentioned this organization. And I was like, she was like, have you heard of it or have you gone to it? I was like, no, I haven't. She said, oh, well, they have things that they can help you out with. They have clothes, diapers, shoes, everything. So that's pretty much how it, the open door of what led me to Mobile Hope. And I just, I walked in, I just was amazed of how the place was itself because I like how it was just organized. Like I noticed the store. Right when I walked in, I didn't know whether the office would be in the store or you would think left or right, but I didn't know which way to turn, so I was like, okay, well, let me go here. And then I first walked in here, and then that's when Wanda had me fill out the application form, and then she told me I could have spoke to Donna like in a few minutes, so I had a chance to speak with her for a few minutes, and it was just a beyond miracle, because then she had offered me the job right there, right on the spot, which I think, to this day, I still think about it, I'm still grateful about it, because I'm like, I think of the barriers that I've gone through, experience that I've been through, the patience and just that time frame of doing what I need to do, and then it finally happening, going. It's not like I wasn't doing it to achieve to finish it or to do it, but it's just a matter of waiting, being patient. So at that moment, it's just like a big like collapse like of my shoulders. So I'm just like, oh my goodness, like this is, it literally fell from the sky, like that expression where like things fall from the sky, because that's exactly how easily I can describe it as, and it can go deeper into like words, but that's just the quick like I can just describe it because until this day I still think about it because I'm just so amazed. Like I'm just like, wow. I'm literally that little fruit of experiencing the organization, going through things, and also being involved to help out the community. If that does that make sense? Like, does that fit in well? Like, just being able to be a taste of it both, and then now being able to share and help out. Like that's what amazes me the most. And where Mobile Hope is just beyond amazing because it helps out a lot of kids, especially within this community. Because you would think Loudoun County, oh, it's the richest county, oh, it's the most, biggest county. Okay, yeah, that may be so, but there is, like, the people that do need help, the people that it's there, like, and that's what they don't really even put out there, like, that there's kids that need help, that there's kids that are going through this and that, and this organization itself helps that a lot. So I think it's pretty neat.
All right, so let's go ahead and take a tour real quick. Alright, so this is the Apex Gymnastics, but it's part of the building. This is our facility, all this stuff around here. So I'm gonna first take you to the store real quick. So we can't take that's alright? So right here, we usually have our secretary, Jessica, over here. And usually she's helping us take phone calls and taking messages for, certain people.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci, Miss Bonnie. I want to say, we got a lot of stuff going on here.
Well, Loudoun County, it's very expensive to live here. It's very expensive to have office space here. So trying to find something that we can grow into is very difficult because, we've already outgrown this place and we're only been here about a year and a half. So, it's just being able to afford somewhere to live as an organization here in Loudoun County.
Mainly what's in the store is like a lot of clothes. We got clothes out here. Like kids want books. We got books going on over here. A whole collection. You got this wall as well. This is the CEO, Ms. Donna Fortier's office.
It's not in my backyard. A lot of places don't want an organization like ours that deals with those who are poor and maybe of different nationalities, maybe different religions, just different. And they don't want that in their backyard. And one example is, a lot of our kids, they'll smoke cigarettes. I can't worry about them smoking a cigarette. And other people close to us here don't want to see a 17, 18-year-old out there smoking a cigarette. Well, that's not that big of a concern to me. My concern is, does that child have somewhere to sleep tonight? Does that child have something to eat? I can't worry about the cigarette right now. It would be probably like 5 acres of property where we could have a porch on the big house type thing, make it look more like a home rather than a sanitary type of building, make it comfortable where we could have a fire pit out in the back and have in the evenings, sit around the fire pit and talk about what's going on, just comfortable. Be able to teach a few things, teach gardening, teach how to just enjoy themselves, because a lot of these kids can hardly sit down and eat dinner with you. They'll walk around holding their plates instead of sitting down and having a dinner with you. And so, having picnic tables outside and cookouts and relaxing with them and being able to teach them, but also have a place that they could live if they needed to, and maybe have like 10 apartments, 5 for girls, 5 for boys, where they can learn how to survive on their own, but be in a safe place also.
Then we got baby diapers, you know, food, hygiene over here. It's like a maze back here because it's a lot. It's always overwhelming putting this stuff up. And we try to organize it as best as we can. So, like I said, we got school supplies over here as well, hygiene, food. And mainly when people come in, we try to limit them to, you know, a certain amount of things if they try to ask for too much. Because we also have a program for our YES program. I don't know if you've heard about that yet. Where kids come in if they really need resources, so we try to help them, whether it's with clothing, food, stuff like that. Got a couple of refrigerators for cold foods. A lot of clothes. I don't know if you want to be recorded. So we got clothing. This is one of the clothing rooms. What's up, Tanner? Hello. And then next door is also clothing. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all we do at Mobile Hope. Gather a lot of volunteers, try to get help organizing everything, because as you can see, a lot of stuff is kind of everywhere. That's pretty much it, though.
I met Donna when I was working as a principal at Monroe, and this was actually prior to her coming up with the concept of Mobile Hope. And she explained it to me once I had a meeting with her in her office who had something to do with school at the time. She began to explain the concept to me, and which sounded very interesting and certainly something that's needed in the community. I've been actually working here, working with Mobile Hope for about, since probably about July of this past year of 2017. And I found it to be really rewarding, beneficial, get the opportunity to engage with other volunteers here at Mobile Hope, and also engage with students or clients who come to Mobile Hope seeking services where we're working with young people to get them jobs, teach them how to fill out job applications, how to complete a resume, and just really working on their skills to make them more attractive to the business world and being able to actually go out and get a job.
El Salvadoran restaurant.
Yeah. ¿Sabes otros lugares de restaurantes que son hispanos que pueden trabajar ahí? ¿Ustedes comen afuera de restaurantes?
Ahí en Sterling, La Pupusa, el Rinconcito. No, pero en el típico mucho pueblo llega.
¿Ustedes quieren trabajar ahí como sin cocineros ahí adentro?
Yo dedico a hacerlo, todo lo que sea. Yo trabajo.
Pueden tratar preguntando a ellos también. Y de plano es más conexión porque ahí mismo estás preguntando y ellos de plano te pueden dar una entrevista ahí mismo o no se necesita
Yo
tratar.
quisiera ver ese donde dice que necesitan dishwasher.
A ver, ¿quieres poner en tu teléfono también para estar? He's going to put it on his phone too. so
Okay,
he has one.
okay.
And then they're also going to check into the other Spanish restaurants too. To see. And if I just told them right now it could probably even be more of an open connect to see since they're asking at that moment and then they can
Pizza
say, oh,
Polish.
okay, well we can either do a paper application or give
Es
more
más
information right there.
India.
Really, I went into psychology. I took psychology class when I was in high school, and I became a peer counselor when I was in high school. And I really have always had that calling to help other people. And I also had a difficult childhood myself and difficult like teenage years. And I sort of wanted to be able to use that for something. to be able to say, you know, yeah, I know what that's like, and that I have a lot of empathy for other people. And so I've always had that. And I took the psychology class, and that's really what made me want to study psychology. So that's what I studied when I went to college. And then when I was in college, I did lots of volunteer work, and I worked with the court system. I worked with like juvenile offenders to help them get rehabilitated. And then I decided, okay, I want to go to graduate school. And then I decided at that point to go into social work.
Here, put Indeed, I-N-D-E-A-D,
Voy a poner
D-E-E-D.
otra conexión de donde puedes buscar trabajos. Pone A, N, no, I primero, disculpe, I-N-A-A-D.
I-N-D-E-E-D.com.
A-N-A-I-N-A-N.
I-N.
No.
¿Puedes ver? Ya, pero voy a ponerlo.
I started out as an educator. All of my experience has been in Loudoun County. I started out at Loudoun Valley High School back in 1979 when I came to Loudoun, and went to various schools. Went to Loudoun County High School. Then I went on to Simpson Middle School to become a dean there. Left Simpson and went to Monroe Technology Center as assistant principal, then took over after the principal there retired, become principal. I've enjoyed it. Enjoy working with young people, enjoy working with teachers and working through strategies to teach young people the various, at that time, the trade areas that we are involved in at Monroe, and they continue to be involved in today at Monroe Technology Center. So when I decided to retire, which was after the development of the new academies of Loudoun that will be opening up this fall, by the way, in 2018, just down the road from here. It was an opportunity for me to want to go on and do some other things. So Donna asked me to get involved with Mobile Hope, and I promised her I would, and I did, and here I am.
They both seem to enjoy this website now, so they're looking into it already.
Good.
And then they're also
And
gonna
so
go
what are they
into-
searching? Are they searching
One put in kitchen cook.
and like what? And you can put the area.
Yeah.
So they're
I showed
putting
them how
like
to do it.
Sterling.
Imagínate que aquí en el McDonald's que está ahí por el Walmart hay trabajo. Aquí aparece ahorita.
Oh, también hay ese también.
Pero ahí de eso a mí me queda como 25
Es un
minutos.
poquito más, right?
A mí me queda como 25
Pero
minutos.
te cabe más el otro McDonald's que está más cerca. No que está cerca del plaza, pero
Es que el problema es de que la...
yo sé, ahí va a ser nada. Yo también, yo estoy en eso, pero yo no me gusta ir en ese área.
Vaya, mire, ve quién necesitan de help en Sterling.
What I realized, and I started volunteering with organizations here because I wasn't familiar with it. I started volunteering at a place called the Loudoun Coalition and the Loudoun Holiday Coalition. And so what I learned was, you know, Loudoun County is one of the richest counties in the country, and yet there's a huge population of people that are struggling financially, people that are homeless, people that are living below the poverty line. And that, to me, really, part of it like frustrated me, because it's like, here we are in this rich county, and I would look at my people that I knew around me, my neighbors or people I knew from my kids' school, and they had no concept of what was happening in the county. And so as far as what Mobile Hope does is, you know, they're filling in that gap there. They're bringing awareness to the huge problem that we have. And they're providing even just talking to people here, now that I've gotten more involved, realizing, okay, you know, we don't have this program, we don't have that program, you know, we don't have, in this area, we don't have like halfway houses for, you know, people that are incarcerated for when they come out, which is why we have a lot of repeat offenders, because they need the help in getting themselves established. You know, things like that. Like, we don't have some of those resources here. It's like, it's amazing to me in this county, you know. I mean, not that I have all the answers, I wish I did, but I think a lot of it is because it's sort of the wealthier people are new residents of Loudoun County, because this has become like the IT tech sort of industry. A lot of those kinds of people are drawn to this area because of its location, you know, proximity to DC, jobs, things like that. So they're able to get these like high paying jobs or whatever, but they don't have the awareness of what's really going on. Yeah, and I think if your goal is just climbing the corporate ladder, or, you know, money, and you don't have a heart that says, okay, I need to give back and I want to see the people in my community succeed as I have succeeded, then people are just blind to it. Know that there is a movement right now to get more training for teachers in different mental health issues, different social, social work issues. There's a movement to get more social workers in the schools. I think at this point, every high school in Loudoun County has a full-time school psychologist. And I don't know if it's a full-time, might be like part-time social worker. So that, you know, then teachers can refer, you know, if they have a student that they know is struggling, then at least a teacher can say, you know, let's go meet with the school social worker. Because the social worker is the one that has, you know, the resources and can say, okay, you're having housing issues. There are things that we can do. And in Loudoun County, we also have something, these positions called parent liaisons, and every school has a parent liaison that also works specifically with helping kids that are, you know, dealing with financial issues, kids and families. They can help them get food, you know, place to stay, you know, clothes, any kind of resources.
He'll never be as great as he once was. He will never assume the position head and shoulders.
One of the representatives of Mobile Hope approached us if we would do a back to school drive that they was having for the community, and we thought that was a fantastic idea. I didn't know at the time that Mobile Hope was behind it. I didn't even know nothing about Mobile Hope. But when we did that drive afterwards, I met the founder. The founder came and thanked us and had a plaque for us and a certificate. It was so cool. And we became instantly friends from that point. That relationship is based off of, you know, you meet different people in the community that do different things, but then you meet people in the community that does it from their heart. It's not about the money. It's about them caring for the people that they come in contact with. You don't see much of that today, but Donna Frontier has that. She has that caring attitude that is so much needed in these programs and in nonprofit organizations today. She truly does it from her heart. I first got into barbering because I was incarcerated at the age of 18, and I got tired of the guy messing my hair up. So I decided that, you know what, I could do better than him. So I picked up a pair of clippers and I cut a friend of mine hair, but I did so good that other guys was coming to me and asking me, hey, can you cut my hair too? And I discovered that I had a hidden talent for cutting hair. So that's pretty much how I got started, if you may, with barbering. I've been locked up 28 years. And during the course of that time, right, I discovered a lot about myself. Not only did I need the entire 28 years, but I found out why. Sometimes you meet different individuals in life that when they get incarcerated, just that 1 year will be the very thing that wakes them up. But for me, it was a combination of a lot of different things that was just really messed up with my life. And it was my way of thinking towards life that truly had to change. So I truly believe that God knew what it would take to create that change in me so I could see things a little differently. And during the time that I was incarcerated, I just always tried to improve myself, work on myself, study different things. And I've, studied business while I was in. I just went to the library and just picked up a lot of different business books. So I just kept my mind going, and instead of, playing cards all day, which a lot of guys do, or watch TV all day, I read, I studied, I tried to better myself. I got my instructor license when I was incarcerated as well. So that just took it to another level. My love for cutting continued, and I cut the whole entire time that I was incarcerated. So when I got out, I believed that I was ready. My mind was totally changed. I was focused. I knew what I wanted out of life. And because of the knowledge that I gained in business, I was able to easily excel. One of the things, though, was the obstacles that were in my way upon release. Like doors was being slammed in my face when I was telling people that I wanted a job. I'm a convicted felon. Nobody really wanted to hire me. But it was this church that gave me my first start, and they opened their home up to me. So I was able to rent a room out for like $500 a month, and that really helped me. And my friend, he had a barbershop. He owned a barbershop, and he gave me a job in the barbershop. So I had my license and everything. I had my instructor's license, and I just built up my clientele from there. But always kind of like had a desire to go back and to help other people out that's been in the same situation that I was in. The recidivism rate today is very, very high. And with Prevail now, we are trying to drop those numbers in our community. And we join with Mobile Hope. Mobile Hope has just been such a blessing to the organization and just helping us. And we, in turn, we want to be able to provide mentoring services for Mobile Hope. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. I always tell the founder of Mobile Hope, Donna, that it's almost like a marriage made in heaven. So you got the father and you got the mother. And just with those analogies, what Prevail Now does is that we bring that manly side or that perspective to her clients as well. And we are able to encourage them because they can relate more to us and where we've been at and the different obstacles that we had. So it's just like a win-win situation for us. And in return, we're getting a lot of guidance on our organization. You know, connecting and getting help from her is just blowing us away how much we are learning to help out in different areas of our community. I actually left home when I was 16 years old, and I have not been back since. Picture that. 16 years old, and I have not been back since. But it has been a road of hell. 28 years in prison. Why? Because I didn't listen. I didn't take heed to the positive things that people were speaking into my life. Yes, that's what I would tell kids today. Listen to the advice, the positive advice that come into your life from multiple people.
And I'll just let them know what you're doing, that not all of this will be used, that just little snippets.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Julie Lorenz. I was taking care of the teen room, now switched to girls, I believe. I think I've been here almost a year.
I'm Lloyd Robinson. We've been in the store. We were just talking about it. I think when you were moving.
Before they moved.
Just before you moved.
When you're still in the Quonset.
Which
You were in-
move, the first or the second?
No, from the Quonset hut over
The
here.
Quonset hut to here.
So a year and a half.
Year and a half.
Because there were so many kids aging out of foster care and aging out of the youth shelter, we moved our mission up to the age of 21. And then because we were getting a lot of young pregnant teens, we moved our mission in keeping in step with the Department of Education and their definition of youth. We've moved it up to 24. So our mission is 24 years of age and younger, with a particular focus on those kids that are 18 to 24. And these are the kids that come to us that are truly homeless, are sleeping in their cars, are in the hotels. Many of them are still going to school. Some are in jail, some are coming out of jail. So it is a big variety of kids that we help. And Casey, you didn't introduce yourself.
Casey.
So Casey and I are the case managers for all of the kids that come in that need all of the support that our kids take for granted every day. And we work to ensure that they become successful contributing citizens of our community. So one of the things that makes Mobile Hope different is that we don't judge regardless of what walks through our door, and that the kids know that this is a safe haven. So they may come in, we may have 20 at one time, we may have none, but they always know that they can come. And our badge of honor is the kids who are our clients that refer their friends to us who are sleeping in cars or whatever. So needless to say, Mobile Hope has grown from the time Casey and I filled one shopping cart with food and we thought, we've got this for a year, to, oh my God, we have no food and it's been a day. So it really, really does morph and change as we work to fill the gaps that are needed in these kids' lives.
I was kind of nearing my sort of time that I felt I had sort of given to Loudon Hunger Relief and was looking for other opportunities. And my daughter, who was then a junior in high school, had a very dear friend. And her name was Rachel, or is Rachel. And Rachel all of a sudden started spending the night a lot over at our house. And my husband and I were like, man, do you think we ought to be worried that she's not checking in with her mother more? And both Courtney and Rachel assured us that, everything was okay. Well, come to find out that actually what Rachel was coping with was that her mother, who was divorced from Rachel's father, he lived in a town further away. This was during the recession, had a job and a career that was really suffering greatly because of the recession. And so she began drinking a lot and just not being there for work or for her daughter. So Rachel started, she was actually working 2 jobs and going to school. She would go in the morning and muck stalls, and then in the afternoon she worked in a deli. She'd come home, she'd bring the money to her mother, and rather than have it go towards bills, it went towards more wine or cigarettes or whatever. So I guess Rachel just was so confused and so kind of fed up with the situation that's why she came to be with us. She felt safer with us. She thought that her father wouldn't find out, so that she wouldn't be taken away and have to go to a new school and whatnot. So come to find out, that was called couch surfing and sort of my first experience with youth homelessness. So all about the same time this is all coming together, Donna was going to launch Mobile Hope as a 501c3, and the timing couldn't have been more perfect for me to come here and join Mobile Hope and advocate for this issue, along with what I do here at Mobile Hope, which is raise money. In this nonprofit world that we live in, too, we're competing against a lot of other organizations that have just as important a mission and a cause as we do. We just have to stand out from others and hope that the donors will recognize the need that we have to raise money just as being just as important as some of the other organizations.
Okay, ¿quieres jalar este? Con el... Porque son vivos. Estos son vivos.
No, con este.
¿Con cuál? Ay, no, eso puede cocinar. Like the water drain and then rocks in there.
Y para sacarle esas otras, con la mano aparte.
Ok, vamos a
esta
limpiarlo con
botémosla.
Ajá.
Esta la botamos.
No, vamos a usar otra vez.
Es comida. Es comida.
Es comida.
¿Es comida? Al pescado le huele la boca. ¿Usted cómo sabe que no es ninguno ni seca ni mojada?
No, we're gonna need another little tanky. It's cracked at all the top. Like I can bring it to show you. Okay. Stop! Aww. Okay, so where can we put the fishy for now? Hey.
Armando, Gerson se ha ganado un tronco feo.
Ready?
Traiga.
Okay, fine.
Este pescado anda crazy. Mire.
Espérate.
Espérese. Con la mano lo hubieras agarrado.
No, porque se hace así.
¿Y qué tiene?
Here! Yay!
Perfect.
Welding
Thanks, honey.
devices together and all collaborating together. And that's how the collaboration concept for the new academies came about putting...
I was on parole, and like right close to the ending, they came up with this program where they got a lot of services, different kind of services in the community out here involved. And you know, my mom, she was like, "Are you serious?" Like they always come up with something when you're almost done with stuff. And I was like, I mean, I don't care. I'm almost done. So I met Donna at the meeting, and ever since she was the first person I contacted out of the meeting, and to see if what I could do to get help. And ever since I've been coming here and kicking it, helping out, doing what I can do. But it was real difficult coming out, you know, because I was downstate in Richmond because I was locked up, and that was not cool. When we like, you know, go back and talk about memories and shit and throwbacks and shit, she like, man, I'm so happy you grown up. She said, I remember one time she was like, you don't think about stabbing people, right? I'm like, what you talking about? Like, cause when you was younger, you used to stab people with pencils. I was like, what? Stab people with pencils? And when I came out, my mom, she moved to Sterling, cause before we was in the shelter and shit. And that shit was whack. Usually at places they like, oh, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta. I mean, yeah, they telling you gotta do this, but they give you some guidance. Like they actually tell you like, oh, you gotta do this. You know, you gotta go here and do this. This is how you can do this. You know, other places they might not do all that. And then I learned my lesson. Kind of crazy. I'm fucked up in the head. Only think about this bread and how I'm finna make it ahead. Look. Got some people out here always fucking judging me, but mama told you, man, only the Lord could be loving me. Like, damn, I really thought that shit was the truth. Until one day I fucking stepped in this booth and now I'm speaking it. I gotta speak this fucking truth of my peace. I'm telling people like, hey man, you really want me to chief. That's how I fucking lost my mind. We could call this shit insanity. People still brainwashing, man, and now they mad at me. Look. Niggas got to keep it real. I ain't talking about no drugs and I ain't talking how I'm popping pills. Was up in the system, but nigga, I made it out. Now I'm at mobile, hoping now I'm following this road. I got a plan, I got that mindset. Baby got the riches. Now I'm telling you right now, we ain't talking about the bitches. So look, let me keep this PG and keep it simple. Anytime I'm on the track, baby, I always kill these instrumentals. Ooh! It's just been a lot going on since I've been out here. And I'm kind of glad that I'm at Mobile Hope because, like, I feel like when I need help, I'm actually getting it.
Now use the bus to go out into different areas across Loudoun County, from St. Louis and Middleburg area to Sterling, and every place in between, to help kind of break down the barrier of transportation issues that affect some of our families. And so we take our bus out to different sites on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and we provide food, clothes, hygiene items, school supplies, and a hot meal that's provided by either churches or businesses.
Those families help each other out, and they'll share. And there's lots of kids, and they all play together. It's just a sweet little community. I bet there's maybe 50 trailer homes in there. It's a trailer home park, but it's kept up really nice. It's a nice little area. And there's an area of, it probably was grass at one time, but the kids play there so much that it's more like a dirt area, and they'll play kickball there. And we brought a bunch of Halloween costumes at Halloween up there, and before we left, you look out and it's all these kids running all over the neighborhood with these Halloween costumes on. They were so cute.
Just stuff like that, I think is really nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a learning process for me, it's like learning how to people, kind of, in a way, like
Mm-hmm.
how to trust people, I feel.
Well, and that's got to be hard when you feel like you didn't have that trust at home. It's got to be hard.
It's a lot.
It is a lot, sweetie. And that's why you have to know that you can come here, right? And we do care about you.
I think we're good.
Okay, sweetie. Oh, now I got to give you a hug. It's okay. Oh, honey, you can call on us anytime, okay?